The NFL league meetings were earlier this week, and we learned a lot about the Lions. And with that knowledge, we are going to do a 7-round mock draft. Let's jump into it. I'm Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit. Today, we're going to do a 7-round mock draft with some of the information that we learned from having a in-depth, more intimate conversation with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell at the league meetings in Florida this past week. We learned a lot. Let's jump into it. So what we're going to do is make a move with the San Francisco 49ers. Lions are going to move up to the 11th pick, and they're going to send over the 28th pick, the 102nd pick, which is the third-round pick, and next year's first-round pick. Hey, if you want to move up and get a guy, this is what you got to do. Let's go get that guy right now. With the 11th pick, the Lions select Michael Williams from Georgia. This is a tremendously talented edge rusher, maybe the second best edge rusher in this entire draft behind Abdul Carter of Penn State. This guy has freakishly long arms, can really set a distance from himself. An offensive lineman, can get around the edge, can swim, can hand fight, has a bend to him as well. Just a really, really talented player who we haven't really seen the surface scratched on yet. Like, he might not even be close to the surface yet. There's just so much room to grow. And if you grow this guy correctly, this is somebody who could be incredibly scary. He could play right away, obviously, and be good right away. But once he hits that peak, we're talking about a terrifying duo with Williams and Aiden Hutchinson. The next thing we're going to do, we are going to do another trade, but this time we're heading down. Got to the 60th pick. The Bills wanted to move up so they can get Azariah Thomas, a cornerback, something the Lions don't really need. So we moved down 2 spots to 62, and to make it a little bit sweeter, the Bills threw in the 173rd pick, which is a 4th-round pick. You got to love it. Extra picks, we'll take it. Let's move on to the 62nd pick, where the Lions will be taking Oregon tackle Josh Connerly Jr. This is a tackle who's not going to be a guard. He's going to be a tackle. Now, the reason we're going tackle is because, well, it's multiple reasons. First off, Brad Holmes talked about how much he likes Graham Glasgow, likes Christian Mahogany. Dan Campbell said the same type of thing. Seems like that's the route they want to go. Keeping Glasgow really is more what we're leaning towards. The other thing is Dan Campbell also kind of talked about moving Giovanni Manu to guard. Is just something they're going to try out this summer and see if it works. The other thing is that Brad Holmes said that he's been maintaining contact with free agents and talked about how a veteran offensive lineman could, be something that the Lions are still looking for. So, in that case, what this team needs is a tackle that could someday replace Taylor Decker. And we think Connerly is that guy. This is a guy who started at left tackle, 3 seasons at Oregon, allowed 2 sacks in all 3 of those years. Really talented player. This could be the future of the Lions offensive line. And while you stick with Decker now, this is a guy who could be a swing tackle right now. Like this is a very good pick for the Lions. Good depth immediately. Great starter in the future. The 130th pick, the Lions are going to take Illinois receiver Pat Bryant. Dan Campbell said at the league meetings that he is looking for the Lions to get younger, have some more competition in that area. Pat Bryant is that guy. He's been that guy. If you've watched any of our other mock drafts, you know we are going to draft Pat Bryant pretty much every time because he's perfect for the Lions. Perfect in terms of culture, perfect in terms of what he brings on the field. He's a tall guy. He can get up and high point the ball. He can make the contested catches. He can do some yards after the catch. He fights for every yard, and he blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks, and that's the guy loves to block. He no block, no rock. That's Pat Bryant. That's why he's such a perfect fit for this team. With the 173rd pick, the pick we got from the Buffalo Bills, the Lions are going to take edge rusher Ahmad Hassanin from Boise State. This is a guy that I feel like we're just not talking enough about. He's kind of like an Ezekiel Ansah type player. Just started playing football a few years ago, but took to it like a fish to water. Just such an athlete, just one of those guys who just could just do it just because he's an athlete. Had a big year for Boise State last year, 62 pressures, 10 sacks, somebody who can give you versatility on the inside as well as the outside. I like this pick. I really hope this is one that the Lions make. With the 196th pick, the Lions are going to take Jackson Hawes, tight end out of Georgia Tech. Now, the reason you go this route is because Despite the fact that the Lions just signed Kenny Yeboah, brought back Shane Zylstra, you want another tight end. This guy brings something that none of the tight ends on this team brings. And I'm talking about Sam Laporte and Brock Wright too. None of these guys are good run blocking tight ends. Jackson Hawes is a phenomenal run blocking tight end, one of the best in the nation in the last couple of years. This is a guy that wants to hit people, wants to block. He is Dan Campbell. If Dan Campbell were coming out in the draft this year, this is exactly the type of player that Campbell was. Loves to block, loves to hit, can catch the ball every now and again. Don't look for somebody who's going to be a receiver type tight end here. He can catch the ball. He can do things with it sometimes, but he is going to be a phenomenal blocker for this team. And I would not be shocked, despite the Kenny Yeboah signing or Shane Zylstra coming back, that if the Lions decided to go with another tight end. With the 223rd pick, the Lions are going to take linebacker Sean Dolak out of Buffalo, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. This guy, I'll tell you, there's something special about this guy. He's the only reason he's probably down this low is because he went to Buffalo and he's kind of undersized, but he can help out in coverage. He had 5 interceptions last year. He had 6.5 sacks, so there you could be a pass rusher too. He had 168 total tackles. The guy just gets after it. He could do so much. Lions love linebackers. They may feel like they don't really need one, but this is a guy that you just don't want to pass on in the 7th round. If you can potentially get him as a priority undrafted free agent, that's great. But why let him get to that point? Just take him here in the 7th round. Feel comfortable with your pick. I like this one a lot. For the final pick, with the 244th pick, Lions are going to take Brew McCoy, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Obviously, Dan Campbell's in. Like we said earlier in the video, he wants youth. He wants competition at the receiver depth, positions. McCoy is somebody I think could be a really good special teams player. I wonder if we've really seen enough of him. He's somebody who didn't really started getting targeted until this past year at Tennessee. He wasn't their top receiver, but he's a guy that there's something there. Maybe a project. You figure it out with him. Not saying he'll be a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, or anything like that. But if he could be a good hand, a good special teams guy who can come on the field and get you some plays every now and again on offense, that's what you're looking for at the 244th pick. I like Brew McCoy. I like this entire draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.